Hello, hi, and welcome to the Screaming Color Readathon vlog. So, if you didn't know, over on my Patreon recently, I've announced that I'm going to be doing these like 48-hour long weekend, Patreon exclusive readathons, and it's going to be called Screaming Color, based off of the song Out of the Woods by Taylor Swift. The rest of the world was black and white, but we were in screaming color. You know the lyric, you know it. And so anyways, this round is going to be reading books with green on the cover because I decided I kind of wanted to do like a cool little readathon where we read books with different colors on the cover because I just love, different colors and finding colors that go together for one vlog. I just think it's very satisfying. And so this round we're going to be reading books with green on the cover, and I'm so excited because I'm going to be kicking it off tomorrow morning with some 10-hour long reading sprints tomorrow and then 6-hour long reading sprints on Sunday. It's going to be a lot of reading sprints, and tomorrow I'm also going to be doing some trivia like in between the reading sprints, and it's going to involve like, Taylor Swift like lyrics trivia. We're going to be doing like bookish trivia, just like book questions, like which book is it about books that have green on the cover. And then I'm also going to be doing, showing distorted book covers and movie posters that have green on the cover, and they have to try to figure out like what the title is or like what's missing, like different things like that. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be such a fun time, and I'm probably going to be hosting this little like Patreon readathon a few times a year. Like that's kind of my hope with this. But anyways, I have quite a lot of green books that are on my TBR that I'm hoping to get through within these next 48 hours. So let me tell you about some of my reading plans. The first thing that I'm going to be reading is Soulmates by Susan Lee, and this is one that I'm actually almost done with. I have like a little bit over 100 pages left, but I'm hoping that this will be the first book that I finish during this vlog. This one's like a young adult contemporary that has been such a delight so far. It's really cute. I also just have a huge fat stack of, manga and graphic novels and different things that I'm hoping to get to that have green on the cover. One of the other books that I'm planning on reading that I have the audiobook for is Small Game. This one has a lot of green on the cover, and this one, the audiobook's only 7 hours long, so I feel like this would be a good one for me to get through during this readathon. But again, I have so many different green audiobooks checked out right now that like anything could happen this weekend. Some of the manga that I'm hoping to read, I just checked out from my library, Given Volume 2. This one actually has this huge thing of green on the cover, which is actually so freaking perfect because this is the volume that I'm currently on for this series. This one is a really cute manga series that's about a group of boys who are in a band, and then I think it's a male-male romance between two of the boys. And then I'm also hoping to get to this weekend Killing Stalking. This is the first volume, and this one, he's got the like green on his jacket, and this is one that I am quite nervous to read if I'm being honest because I have heard such mixed things about this. Like a lot of my friends really love this book, but a lot of them also say that they're terrified for me to read it because they don't think it'll be my thing. And I'm kind of terrified to read it because I've heard that it's really dark and disturbing and just like really out there. And so we'll have to see. I don't know. I'm planning on reading this live during Patreon sprints tomorrow night. So I've also got Goodnight Pun Pun checked out from my library. This one has this like green all over the cover, and this is also the first volume in what I believe is a manga series. I don't know. I've heard a lot of mixed things about this one, but I'm really excited to check it out. It is kind of thick too, but I don't know, because it's manga, I feel like I'll be able to get through it pretty quick. And I do have the last 3 books in the Sweat and Soap series on my TBR for this weekend. So volume 9, he has this like green shirt on the cover here, and then volume 10, we have like the tiniest little bit of green here on her shirt on this side, and then in the last volume here, volume 11, we have a few of the characters like kind of wearing green. I also have some other stuff that I might get to, like The Promised Neverland volume 1 has quite a bit of green on the cover there, and then also this one, Hyperventilation. I think this one, I don't know if it's a manga or if it's a graphic novel, but this one is also, I think it's a male-male romance, and there is some green on the cover there. I don't know though, because I also do just have so many books, in my room that have green on the cover that like, it could just be a total mood reading weekend. Like, I don't really know what's gonna happen. But yeah, Soulmates has been really cute so far. As I said, I'm about like 220 pages into this. I decided to get a head start on my TBR before this weekend actually actually started because I was like, I have so many books that I would like to read this weekend that I might as well get a head start on what I'm already trying to read. And this book has just been so cute so far. Like, I really love, you know, the main premise of this book is that we're following this young girl named Hannah, right? And she's living in San Diego. Her boyfriend, Nate, is this guy who's like absolutely obsessed with like K-pop and K-dramas, and he doesn't understand why she won't get into it because she's Korean, like she's Korean American, and she's just never really cared that much about K-pop or K-dramas and all that. Then our girl Hannah here, she used to have this best friend named Jacob Kim, and now he's a huge famous actor in South Korea. He's on this really big K-drama, and she's like upset with him because they kind of had like a falling out situation when he left for Korea and they haven't really spoken in a while, but now his family is going to be taking a break and going back to San Diego for a little bit just to kind of get a break from all like that fame and everything. And yes, this one, it does have the you know, friendship to lovers trope going on here, and we're also kind of getting the like, not like second chance, because like it's not like they were ever together in the first place, but like it's like they could have had something and then he left, and now it's like this thing where they just miscommunicated their feelings. I'm also just really enjoying it because, you know, as a huge fan of K-pop and like K-dramas myself, I'm really loving hearing all the different like K-pop lingo that's in this book and all the like BTS references. I'm like tabbing them because I'm so excited. Like, this is one of the first books I've ever read that actually talks about BTS, so like it makes my heart happy, and it's just really cute. And I also I appreciate the discussion about how hard it is to be a celebrity in Korea and like how different it is when like most actors and pretty much all musicians, like K-pop idols from what I understand, they all have to go through some pretty intense training before they can like become who they are, and you know, like before they can like debut and like make their appearance to the public. And you know, this character often talks about how difficult it is to, you know, be trained to be a certain way, and especially when there's cameras in front of him, like he's just kind of trained to act a certain way, and how sometimes he feels like it's really hard to be himself because he's been trained for so long, like how to do certain things and how to respond, and like I don't know, it's just really interesting. And I think this book is doing a really good job of portraying like how hard that can be on someone's mental health to always have to be like thinking of how people are seeing you. And so yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm probably gonna finish this tomorrow morning while I'm on sprints and then get through the rest of this TBR, hopefully.
Waking up in my bed, you're still stuck in my head. I'm not even hungover. I wanna call your phone, tell you what you did wrong, then ask you to come over. Not very good with decisions, know what's right, but I don't listen, I don't. And I complain and dismiss it, then I keep on reminiscing, I know.
Hello and happy day one. It's day one of the Screaming Color Readathon, and I've been having such a great morning already. I actually finished listening to Soulmates on audio while I was eating breakfast this morning. I just decided to get a head start jump on the day, and this book was really cute. I think I'm gonna give it somewhere between like 3.5 to 4 stars because I really did love the relationship between these two, and I really liked them both as characters. However, there were moments towards the end of this book that just got really kind of like over the top and dramatic with like the miscommunication between these two, and at parts it's like I can forgive some of it because like they're young, you know, like they are young adults, and sometimes in young adult romance, like these are the exact things that irritate me, is because sometimes young adults really struggle with communication. I mean, gosh, everyone does, really, but especially like when they're young, because it's like they don't know how to like navigate those feelings, and they're feeling insecure, and they don't know how to say what they really mean. And so at times I was like a little bit frustrated with them towards the end, and also like I don't know totally how I feel about where the plot or like what ended up happening with these two characters towards the end of this book. I don't know if I loved that, but overall I think this was a really enjoyable read. I don't know what it is about like the springtime in the year, it really makes me want to read like young adult contemporaries. I don't know why that is. Like I don't know if anybody else gets that way. Like the only time I get the urge and the want to read young adult contemporary is in the spring and sometimes in the summer, and like that's it. Like those are the only 2 times of year that I actually want to read young adult contemporaries. But anyways, this was really cute. It was a good time. I've started on the Patreon reading sprints and the trivia that we've been doing for this readathon, and oh my god, it has been so much fun already. I'm doing like finish that Taylor Swift lyric kind of trivia and like what song are these lyrics from, and then also just having them guess, you know, like books based off of like specific clues or like based on a distorted book cover. And oh my god, it's been an absolute blast already. I'm keeping track in my journal like who's on top of the leaderboard so far. My friend Jan is freaking crushing it. He has 5 answers correct already. Like, he's doing so well. But anyways, I think I am going to jump into Given Volume 2. I think this is the first manga I want to try and read today. And yeah, I'm just so excited to get through all these sprints and all the trivia. It's gonna be such a blast. All right, ready? What song are these lyrics from? Took off faster than a green light, go. And you know, we have green. You see how I did that there? I just threw in a little green. Okay, you got it. Holy ground. Took off faster than a green light, go. What book is it? Oh my gosh. Heidi got it so quick. Heidi got it. The Kind Worth Saving. Boom! Which book is it? A horror novel published in 2021 that features a cat on the cover and includes the perspective of a cat in the story. Has a very green cover. This should be a fun one. Okay, I think Ariane got it. Last House on Neela Street. But wow, you guys were quick with that one. Holy crap. Okay, next one. What is the title of this book? This is one you might be a little more familiar with. Maybe. Oh my gosh, Heidi got it. Nothing to see here. Boom. Is now about 2:30 in the afternoon, and I've been getting some good reading in this afternoon. So I completed Given Volume 2. I was able to read this during the first Patreon sprint that I did this morning, and this was so freaking cute. I'm absolutely adoring this manga series. Like, I think I liked the second volume even more than the first volume. And this manga series, we just follow a group of boys who are in this band, and they have like relationships with each other, and it's just so cute. I do think my only issue with this series is at times I feel like it's a little bit hard to follow like what's happening in certain scenes, but I don't know if that's just like me getting used to this kind of writing style that this author has, or like what the reason for that is, but I'm still loving it so much, and I think these characters are so cute. And there was like a few moments where I like gasped because of how cute it was. I love like the comparison of like guitar strings to like a heart, and like how they're fragile just like a heart is, and like the talk of like learning music and like learning how to love someone, and just oh my god, it's just so beautiful. Like, I'm really enjoying this series. And then I also started on Goodnight Pun Pun. This is the first volume in what I think is a series, and I got about, I don't even know, like I got this far into it before I think I'm gonna DNF this, because I don't understand this. It's just kind of strange. Like, we're just kind of following this little creature whose name is Pun Pun, and he's just like going to school with a bunch of kids who are either in like elementary school or middle school, and it's just weird. Like, this book is so weirdly like sexual. It's very like coming of age, like as these kids are starting to learn like, you know, about the world and about sex and about like different things in their lives, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, the writing is just very strange. Like, I'm not really connecting with it at all, and there's a lot of like really graphic nudity with like them learning about sex, and it just feels very like middle school in the way that like the way kids talk about sex, like they don't really know what they're talking about, but they think they do. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about this. Like, I don't know if it's supposed to be making me super uncomfortable or what. It almost feels like it could be one of those books that goes in a direction where it ends up being more horror, but I really don't think it's that, because on Goodreads, like the description of this just says it's like a coming of age book, and so I don't really get it. I'm gonna DNF it for now, because I'm like, what the fuck am I reading right now? Like, I don't really want to be reading this right now, so I'm DNFing it for now. and I have started on the small game audiobook. I am 13% of the way into it right now, and so far I'm really enjoying it. This one's kind of like a survival show kind of story. It's interesting because we follow these people who are getting dropped into the middle of the wilderness with like a blindfold on, and it kind of reminds me of like Battle Royale, at least in the sense that when they take off the blindfold, they get the opportunity to pick something to take with them when they're on this, like, I think it's an island. But it's interesting because they get the choice of whether or not they want to like take a weapon with them. Like they get either like a knife or like different weapons, or they can take cash, like $10,000, which is like, obviously the $10,000 isn't gonna do much for them while they're on the island, but it's also like $10,000, like that's a lot of money, but also maybe they're gonna need to pick something that will help them survive. So I don't know, it already has like the interesting kind of like mind games going on in this book, and so I'm enjoying it so far. I'm gonna continue reading this one. I'm still doing like reading sprints and trivia right now on Patreon, and it was kind of like scary earlier because Tank started like throwing up in the middle of when I was doing like the trivia, and so I felt so bad because I mean it's not like the most uncommon thing in the world for Tank to throw up, but he was like throwing up and like walking around, and he just looked very distraught, and I was concerned, and so I just started the next like reading sprints so that I could like take care of the Tank situation. And he seems like he's doing better now. You know, he's just been sleeping. I gave him a little treat for his stomach because he won't eat his food right now, and he seems very like out of it this last day or so. I feel so like terrible whenever Tank doesn't feel well. It hurts my heart, but I think he's doing okay now. He's just been sleeping in his bed, and so I'm just gonna continue listening to small game. It's getting to that point in the afternoon right now where I'm kind of getting hungry and I feel like I need to eat something. So I might go down to the kitchen and make a snack and perhaps get a Monster energy drink because, you know, monsters are green. You know, it fits with like the theme of the readathon, and also I need it to wake myself up because ya girl is getting tired. I've been doing reading sprints for like 3.5 hours now. I need a wake up, you know?
I knew that Pilates would be the way to go for me because it's a lot of stretching.
So this is the last Taylor one. This is your last chance for all the Swifties. Finish that lyric. And they tell you that you're lucky, but you're so confused because you don't feel pretty. Blank, blank, blank.
Ah!
Looking for 4 words.
So hard not to say it.
4 words. Yes, Chris got it again. You just feel used. Yes, and this is from...
What do I?
Yeah. What is this book called?
I could guess.
It is not The Substitute. Ooh, Christine got it. Getting schooled. All right, it is 6 o'clock at night now already. Oh my gosh, where's the day gone? And I just wrapped up the last bit of trivia on the Patreon sprints, and it was so much fun because Rachel, you know, came in and got to join me there for like the last little bit of trivia, and it was so much fun, and everyone did so freaking well. Like there was only like 1 or 2 things that kind of like stumped everyone and like nobody knew, but it was so much fun, and I can't wait to like do these again in the future and think of different new creative, you know, ideas for trivia because my Patreon friends had so many good ideas for like different kind of trivia things I could do in the future, like related to like the booktube or just like related to, you know, horror movies or just like all kinds of different stuff. So it was very fun. I'm also still reading Small Game. I'm about 57% of the way through the audiobook, and this book is definitely a slow burn, but it's still something that I'm enjoying, and so I'm hoping I can get this one finished today while I'm on reading sprints. Hopefully that's the plan. Right now I just started an hour-long sprint. I'm doing an hour-long sprint right now because I'm going to be making some dinner with Rachel, and so I wanted enough time for us to be able to cook dinner and then hopefully eat it before, you know, the sprint's over. But we're going to be making some mac and cheese, I think, with some asparagus. It's like one of our favorite go-to meals, and we haven't had it in a while, like in quite a long time, so I'm really looking forward to it. But let's get it.
When I saw you over there, I wasn't sure. Now I'm feeling something I haven't before. Look at us, no dancing now, skin to skin. If you keep this up, then I'll let you in.
hello, it is 8 o'clock at night and I have, eaten dinner. I did like an hour-long reading sprint while we were making dinner, and then dinner was barely even finished by the time that the sprint was over. So I was like, wow, it took us a little bit longer to make dinner than I thought it would. And then during that last sprint, I did another 45-minute sprint, and during that one, I was eating with my sister, and then I just barely started on Killing Stalking Volume 1. And this is very interesting so far. This one is one that a lot of my friends have really enjoyed this, and this one, it's not exactly a graphic novel or a manga. It's, from what I understand, I think it's called a manhwa. It's like manga, but it's Korean, and you basically read it straightforward like a regular graphic novel instead of like a manga. And these photos are glossy and they're like in color, so it's kind of different from manga. This story is already so interesting. We're following this main protagonist who's this young boy, and he's a stalker and he's really in love and obsessed with this other boy. But this story is not like romantic at all. It is very dark and very disturbing, but it's already like gripping me right away. Like, I think it's very interesting, and I'm gonna be trying to finish it on this sprint. So I'm currently on my last sprint right now. I'm doing like a 50-minute reading sprint to end out the night with these 10-hour-long sprints, and I feel like this day has gone by so fast. Like, it does not feel like I've been live for nearly 10 hours, but here we are. Dude. I just finished Killing Stalking. I read that so fast. I literally read this entire thing in like 40 minutes or less. And it was so good. Oh my gosh. Okay, major content warnings. This is very, extreme horror, and there's a lot of really graphic and brutal violence, like a lot of gore, and it's a lot of like sexual violence. And honestly, this sounds like something that I probably wouldn't like. And so that's why I went into this. I was very nervous to read this one, but I had seen so many of my friends, really loving this one. And so I just kind of wanted to go in and like see what I was getting myself into. What the fuck was this book? Like, am I gonna give this book 5 stars? And it's like, it's one of those books that, as disturbing as it was, it's like, yeah, it's very uncomfortable to read something like this, but that's also kind of like what I'm looking for when it comes to horror. Like, the more uncomfortable I feel, it's usually like the better the horror book for me, like that's how it goes. But oh my god, this is one that it's like, I struggle to like widely recommend this because it is so dark and disturbing that like I wouldn't just go around recommending this to anyone. But at the same time, maybe this was 5 stars. Like, I don't know, it was so good. I feel like after finishing this, I just immediately have the urge to want to pick up the second one, like the second volume. And usually that's a pretty good sign to me that like if I want to continue reading so desperately, that's pretty much a big sign to me that this should be 5 stars, because it was really entertaining. And I feel like this is also like one of those books where it's also so entertaining because I could not predict where this is going. Like, these two characters are just so unpredictable, like, and that's why I flew through it as quick as I did, because I had to know where the story was going, because nothing about this is predictable. I'm just constantly like, what the fuck am I reading right now? And I love that feeling. It's been a while since I've had that feeling, so I enjoyed myself while reading that. Would I recommend it? No. But did I have a great time? Yes. So yeah, wow, I just wrapped up my 10-hour-long reading sprint on Patreon. I made it the full 10 hours. That's officially like the longest I've ever done reading sprints for, so that's exciting. Me and my sister are gonna watch Love is Blind. The new season of Love is Blind just went up on Netflix yesterday, and we watched the first episode yesterday, but I think we're gonna watch at least 1 or 2 more tonight. I'm probably gonna have some ice cream, and then maybe read a little bit more later tonight. I don't know, I've been reading so much today. Alright, hello. It is 10:30, and it is the end of night 1 of the Screaming Color Readathon. And I know earlier I was like, oh, I'm gonna like take a shower and then go lay in bed and read some more. But like, dude, my brain is literally scrambled eggs right now. I am so tired. I feel like I'm really happy though with the reading progress that I've made today. I mean, I know, okay, Goodnight Pun Pun, yeah, it was technically a DNF, but I read some of this today. And then I ended up finishing Soulmates today. I read Given Volume 2 and Killing Stalking Volume 1, and I got 50% of the way through the audiobook for Small Game. game. And so like, yeah, I was live for 10 hours today and I did a lot of reading today, and I feel like my brain is just a little bit burnt out and I'm just so tired. Like last night I did not sleep well. Like last night was one of the worst sleeps that I've had in such a long time because I had the most intense like cramps all up in my stomach and like my legs. Because of that, I just really could not sleep well last night. Like I was just tossing and turning all night, and I feel like I didn't realize just how tired I am until I just walked out of that shower and I'm like, oh my god, my eyelids will like barely even stay open because of how exhausted I am. I will see you tomorrow. Hello, it is about 1:30 in the afternoon already, and I've been doing some reading sprints on Patreon this morning for day 2 of the readathon. I do have my, this is my only other green crew neck that I own. This one's the Desert Dreaming. I really enjoy this crew neck. It's one of my favorites. But anyways, I wanted to let you know that in those first 2 sprints, I was able to finish Small Game. And this is the one, it was kind of a short audiobook. It was only 7 hours long, but this is the one that's kind of about a survival TV show that's kind of like a survival show gone wrong kind of thing. And this book, I do have mixed feelings about it because I did like the writing. I liked the writing a lot. I liked the writing style. I did enjoy most of the characters, and there was like one particular relationship that I was really invested in throughout the whole story. But at the end of the day, I also feel like the story was just a little bit slow paced and just like not very memorable for me. The ending was also like not my favorite. It just ended like very abruptly, I thought, and I just wasn't really satisfied by anything by the end of it. I was just like, oh, okay, like it's over, I guess. And so I don't know, I feel like it's probably gonna end up being around a 3-star for me. It's nothing that I didn't like. I just don't feel like it's gonna be a very like memorable read for me. But I have started on Sweat and Soap Volume 9. I think I'm gonna be trying to read at least 9 and at least Volume 10 while I'm on sprints today. And I think I'm gonna make an iced coffee because on the reading sprints, Steph was talking about iced coffee, and it just really made me want an iced coffee because I'm just it's hitting that point in the afternoon, where I just get like really tired and my eyes are glazing over and I'm like, I need a pick-me-up. And also, oh my gosh, it was so much fun on reading sprints this afternoon. We've just been talking about like Love is Blind season 4 because we are currently watching that. We only watched the first 2 episodes last night, but that's our current watch. So we were talking about Love is Blind and how like all of the men just like really suck on that show normally. Like this season, I don't know so far because I'm only 2 episodes in, but especially last season, like we were just basically roasting talking about season 3 and the men on that show, like, oh my god. But then it was also really great because we were talking about all the like Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber drama, and like, oh my gosh, like Selena Gomez is such a classy human being, and I don't know how she tolerates the Mean Girls, like I really don't. It's like, it's so high school. Like, I can't believe there are still Mean Girls like this in 2023. Like, what is going on? Anyways, I'm gonna go make an iced coffee. I'm gonna read this one and then I'll let you know my thoughts. There's like a theory about how she might drop Speak Now, Taylor's version, in August, which I think is a possibility. I know, literally same. I almost always end up disliking all the people in Love is Blind, but I still watch it anyway. Like last season, oh my god, that one motherfucker, the one that was with Nancy, I cannot stand that man. Bartiz! The motherfucker Bartiz! Yeah, Nancy was a queen, okay?
Feels like I'm failing on forever. Comes and goes. They say the truth is in the terror. Everybody knows. Talking about it, body never grows. So long
I am wrapping up on my Patreon sprints at the moment, but I wanted to update you because I have completely finished the Sweat and Soap series, and these freaking mangas make me so freaking happy. This series was so beautiful and so cute. I do think volume 9 is like one of my top favorites in the whole series, just because I love the way that they talk to each other, like, and the way they communicate their feelings, even when they're going through something that's hard for them to talk about, you know, especially because our main girl here, you know, like, she kind of had a difficult past in terms of like the bullying that she had when she was a kid. It was like a hard thing for her to talk about with him, but I just love the way that these two communicate with each other, and they just have the most precious and beautiful relationship. These last 3 volumes were just absolutely precious. Like, I think I'm giving them all 5 stars, but I do think volume 9 really stands out to me as like one of my top favorites. There was also like a side character introduced in volume 9. That's the girl that's on the back of the book here, and she was also like one of my favorite characters in the end of the series. You know, I still stand by the fact that I really want an entire manga series about our main protagonist's brother. Like, her brother is still one of my favorite characters that are in this manga series, and like, I'm genuinely gonna miss reading about these characters so much. Like, they're just so cute, and this series was so like lighthearted and feel good, and I just had such a great time reading it, and it makes my heart so happy. And I'm kind of sad that it's over now, but I also just had the best time reading these all today and just finishing the series on such a great note. I am going to be just wrapping up these Patreon sprints in about 30 seconds. My timer's gonna go off. And then I think we're going to make some dinner tonight and probably watch a little bit more of Love is Blind, the new season, season 4, that's on Netflix. And so I will update you a little bit later. Green. Green. All that green. Yeah. Beautiful. Alright, hello. It is about 10:30 at night, and that is a wrap on the Screaming Color Readathon. Tonight I did not get the opportunity to read anymore because me and my sister were pretty much watching the new season of Love is Blind almost all night. We caught up on the current 5 episodes that are out, and like, oh my gosh, I cannot stand anybody on this season. Like, I literally think they're all like such terrible people, and why are there so many mean girls? The energy is just not there. But will I finish the whole season? Yes. Yes, I will. I just really live for the drama, you know, like, it's so entertaining. I don't even know, like, there's just something about that show. I just keep being drawn back to it. Like, I have to know what happens. But yeah, like, the only decent person that I actually like on the show is Marshall. I think Marshall is like the biggest sweetheart, but otherwise, not a fan of anybody else on that show. But anyways, yeah, overall, it was a very great weekend. I was able to read so many of the books that I had on my TBR, including Soulmates. I was able to get to a bunch of the different manga I had on my TBR, and I also was able to read Small Game. I listened to that audiobook this weekend. I also did, you know, I got quite a bit into Goodnight Pun Pun, but this ended up being a DNF for me for now. But yeah, I am really happy with the results this weekend. I feel like I have found a new favorite with Killing Stalking, but if you read this book because of me, no, you didn't. You know, like, I don't know what you're talking about, because this is not a book that I would just go around recommending, but it was so good. Like, what the heck was this? I feel uncomfortable by how much I enjoyed this book, but I did. I'm not gonna lie. It was a very enjoyable reading experience for me, and I cannot wait to read more. I'm also so glad that I finally got the opportunity to finish the Sweat and Soap series, because I've been reading this series, you know, since October, and I've just been loving the series so much, and I'm so glad that it ended on a good note for me. Like, I think all these last 3 volumes for me were 5 stars. Like, I just had a great time reading these. So yeah, it's been a super lovely weekend. I'm so excited with how this readathon turned out. It was literally so much fun hanging out with everyone on my Patreon for like the whole weekend on reading sprints and doing trivia with them. The trivia was seriously so much fun. I can't wait to bring it back. I think I'm going to be hosting this readathon again, another Screaming Color readathon in June, and I think blue is going to be the next color that I do for this readathon, and I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much, of course, if you participated in Screaming Color in any kind of capacity. I super appreciate it. I think it was so much fun. Let me know if you did participate, if you found any new favorite books with green on the cover, or how the readathon went for you in general. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I will see you very soon with another video. Bye.